Kimi just released WebBridge, a browser extension that turns any AI agent into a real browser operator. Claude Code, Cursor, Codex, Hermes, Kimi CLI, all of them, one extension, running locally on your machine. And the really interesting part, the part most coverage missed, I will get to in the last minute.
Here is the thing about AI agents that nobody likes to talk about. Most of them have a serious problem with browsers. You give Claude Code or Cursor a coding task and it works beautifully. You give it something that requires seeing a web page, like checking the current pricing on a competitor site, or filling out a form on your behalf, and suddenly the agent is helpless. Why? Because writing code is text in, text out. Operating a browser is vision in, click out. That is a completely different category of capability. And until last week, every AI tool was solving it differently. Cursor had its own browser plugin. Codex had a different one. Claude Code could not really do it at all. Hermes was building its own. Every agent, every project was reinventing the same wheel. The cost of this fragmentation is invisible but huge. Every team building agentic tools is spending engineering time on the same problem. How do we let our agent click a button on a real website? Every solution is slightly incompatible with the others. Every framework is locked to its own glue code. Meanwhile, the actual user, you, is forced to pick a stack and live with it. Want to switch from Cursor to Claude Code? You lose your browser plugin. Want to add Codex to the mix? You build a new integration. That fragmentation has been quietly bottlenecking the entire agent ecosystem. The benchmarks compete on coding accuracy. But the real-world deliverable, agents that can do useful work on websites, has been stuck. Which brings us back to Kimi WebBridge, and why a single browser extension changes the game.
What Kimi shipped is technically simple but strategically smart. WebBridge is a Chrome extension that exposes a small local service. That service speaks to your browser through Chrome DevTools Protocol, the exact same low-level interface developers have used for browser debugging for years. And here is the move that makes this matter. Instead of locking it to Kimi's own model, they made the local interface generic. Any agent that wants browser control can connect to it. Claude Code can. Cursor can. Codex can. Hermes can. The new Kimi Code CLI obviously can. And anyone building a new agent tomorrow does not have to ship their own browser plugin, they just plug into this one. All of the actual browser interaction, clicking buttons, filling forms, reading pages, scrolling runs locally on your machine. Your data does not leave your computer for the browser part. The agent's reasoning still goes to the cloud model, but the browser actions stay local. This is the kind of move that quietly resets a market. Once every major agent supports the same browser control protocol, the competitive question shifts. It stops being whose model is better at clicking buttons and starts being whose model writes better orchestration logic. That is a much harder competition to win, and it favors the labs with the best general reasoning. This is also why the local-first design matters. If browser actions ran through Kimi's servers, every other lab would refuse to integrate. By keeping the actions on your machine, Kimi essentially said, "We promise not to spy on the requests." That is the only way Anthropic, OpenAI, and others can recommend the extension without lawyers blocking it.
So here is the real question worth thinking about. Kimi just open-sourced the plumbing that connects every AI agent to the web. The labs that compete with each other on benchmarks all benefit from this. The user benefits from this. But who actually wins? Maybe the plumbing layer always wins. Maybe the smartest move in the agent wars is not to build a better agent, it is to build the bridge that every agent needs to cross.